Hi guys, my name is Jillian Williams and I am 21 years old and I am from a small town called Odom, Texas, about 30 miles north of Corpus Christi. I got a call from one of y'all's coaches, Coach Katie, and she asked me if I'd be willing to share my journey with y'all as well as talk about childhood cancer facts. So a little bit about my life. I, like I said, grew up in Odom, Texas. I graduated from Sinton High School. I grew up very active, showing livestock, playing sports, being in the community, and yeah, just pretty much everything I could do, I did. I decided my junior year of high school that I wanted to play college volleyball, so that's kind of where my path led me. I stopped playing basketball, running track, and really stuck to playing volleyball. My senior year, I committed to playing volleyball at Texas Lutheran University. Go Bulldogs! For those of you who don't know where that is, it is in Seguin, Texas, just outside of San Antonio. We were a Division III school, and I absolutely love it. And yeah, it's kind of left a huge impression on my heart. I played one semester at Texas Lutheran. I went there for athletic training, wanting to be an occupational therapist as well as playing volleyball. I played, like I said, one semester and my knee started hurting, so I kind of just pushed it off. And my parents were like, "Come on, Jill, you're playing college sports. This is kind of how college sports go. You're going to have injuries, you're going to have pain." So I pushed it off. The pain started in September, and in December is when I finally went to a doctor. Fast forward a couple months to February 29th, I was diagnosed with Ewing sarcoma, which is a very rare pediatric bone cancer. It affects about 200 to 400 of us a year in the United States. So on a cancer spectrum, that is really small, which is kind of outrageous to think. Like I said, it is a pediatric cancer, and I was actually diagnosed the week of my 19th birthday. So those of you seniors that say, you know, when you turn 18, you become an adult, not really in the medical world. I thought I would be treated as an adult, not in a pediatric facility, and boy was I wrong, but I am so glad I was treated by the doctors that I was treated by, and that, like I said, I was treated in a pediatric facility, which was absolutely amazing. If y'all see me looking down, I have some notes, so excuse me for that. But anyway, I was diagnosed February 29th. I met with a doctor that following week and was told that I would be going through about 26 rounds of chemotherapy. My chemo would be inpatient and outpatient, which means I would be in the hospital for some of them, and some of them would just be what we called a drive-by, and so I would show up that day, have a treatment, and get to go home that night. My treatments ended up lasting about 11 months. I was in the hospital almost every week, and I also had an amputation of my left leg, which is where my tumor was. The amputation I have is kind of crazy, kind of cool. It's called rotationplasty, and for those of you that don't know what rotationplasty is, my tumor was in my distal femur, so right above my kneecap, and they cut the center portion of my leg out, so they took my knee completely out. They rotated my foot 180 degrees and reattached it to my femur. So my shin bone and my thigh bone are now my thigh bone, and my foot functions as my knee. I think it's really cool. Some people are scared of it, but it makes me who I am today, and I couldn't be more blessed with it. So a little bit about my journey through cancer. I called it my leap. I was diagnosed on Leap Day, which only comes around every 4 years, so it kind of was a big day for me. I always joke around and say, like, well, it only comes around every 4 years, so I don't have to remember it. But as far as whenever I do my yearly post on like social media, I never know if I should do it on February 28th or if I should do it on March 1st. So that's kind of the funny thing about it. Most of us have gone through hardships. Most of us have gone through difficult times. We've thought that we would never get over it. We wonder where we'd be next, especially in high school and in middle school. That's a time in your life where you're changing, you're learning kind of who you are and what you want to do in life and who you want to be. And so that also still carries over in college. So when I was diagnosed, I felt like I'd finally been on my own. I was becoming the person I wanted to be. I was following a path that I felt was God's path for me, and I was going and blowing, and overnight I was told that I had a very rare bone cancer and my life was on the line. So a lot of people ask me, how did you keep a positive attitude? How did you stay who you were and true to yourself? And I always have felt like I've had a very blessed outlook on life. I've always been happy-go-lucky. I kind of look for the better of the things, but I also have a brother who's completely opposite. So I kind of get both ends of the spectrum when it comes across to me. And one thing I will say is that my faith and my friends and my family is what I really relied on, and my doctors. It's crazy to think that I put my life, my 19-year-old self life, in the hands of medicine, in the hands of doctors, and said, okay, let's see what you can do with me. Let's see if I can be that 25% that lives. And so here I am today. As of 2 weeks ago, I was 18 months cancer-free, which is, in the cancer world, a big thing. And yeah, I can't imagine my life not being the way it is now. I try to look back and be like, what would I be doing if I had 2 legs? And one thing that I say I will not be doing is I wouldn't be where I am today. I am a member of the USA sitting volleyball team, so I get to wear USA on my chest as I play volleyball. When I was diagnosed, I thought I would never play again, so that's kind of an exciting thing to say. I'm recording this, so today is 9/11, and it's kind of a cool feeling whenever you walk out on the court, your American flag is being posted in front of you, and you have the USA flag on your chest, and you're saying the national anthem in front of hundreds of people. It's kind of a surreal moment, and so that's why when I say I'm blessed with cancer is because the things that I've gotten to do after it. So like I said, I'm up here. I live in Oklahoma, which is why I couldn't come be with y'all in person today. I train 15 hours a week of volleyball, and I'm going to school as well at the University of Central Oklahoma, which is not really where I wanted to graduate from. I really wanted to graduate from Texas Lutheran, but I just kind of let go and let God and see where He took me, and this is where I am. Another kind of exciting thing that would not have happened if cancer didn't happen is I've started a foundation called Live and Leap Foundation, and what we do is we grant needs and dreams to adolescent young adult patients with life-threatening illnesses. So most everybody knows what Make-A-Wish is, and so what we do is we fill the gap that Make-A-Wish stops at, and so we go from 18 to 29, benefiting the adolescent young adult patients that kind of get looked over whenever they turn 18. I also wanted to kind of talk to y'all about like what our leaps are, as well as share some cancer facts with y'all. So continuing with Live and Leap, we have granted 5 leaps so far, and like I said, we've only been, no, I haven't said this yet, but we've only been going for a year. August is when we hit our first year mark. We've raised over $100,000, and we've granted 5 leaps. A trip to Hawaii was our first one, and we sent a girl named Cassidy Huff, who was also in the Las Vegas shooting. We sent her and her best friend to Hawaii for almost 2 weeks and 3 islands, so that was really cool. I always say I'm living vicariously through them because I technically didn't get a leap or a Make-A-Wish trip. So we've made a custom-made computer. We have 2 Disney cruises, and we're doing a wedding. So Live and Leap is my baby, and it's growing, and it is amazing, and I am so excited. And I also talked to y'all's coaches about maybe starting a club at y'all's school. Although we don't benefit like the pediatric age group, we're all going to be adolescent and young adult patients hopefully one day, or people one day, and so my goal is to hopefully get y'all involved at the school, maybe starting a club about Live and Leap, and kind of teach y'all more about it. I love talking about it, if y'all can't tell. So yeah, and I wanted to share some cancer facts with y'all. As y'all know, September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and although I was not a child when I was diagnosed with cancer, I still had a childhood cancer. So some facts that really, I guess, stick in my mind and make me just want to do more are that over 250,000 kids this year will be diagnosed with cancer. That is absolutely crazy. That is way bigger than the high school I went to, bigger than the town that I grew up in, and like, it just blows my mind. And that is children. That's people under the age of 18 are diagnosed with that. So that one just really, I never thought I would be a part of that, I guess, that number. And like I said, overnight my life changed, and I was. So I really like people to, especially y'all's age, to know that and to share that with others. Don't be scared to talk about childhood cancer with your parents, with your friends, with family, with adults. You may not know a ton about it, but if you share one fact, that is one fact more than someone knew. And so I always like to encourage others, don't be scared to talk about it. A lot of people are scared to talk about cancer because it is a scary thing, but if we don't talk about it, then no one's ever going to know about it. Another thing is that only 4% of government funding goes towards childhood cancer. So when I started Live and Leap, I had a bunch of questions as to why I was not going to start a research foundation, and my reasoning is because I am involved. I'm an ambassador for a couple different research foundations, and I decided I didn't want to have to compete with them for money. Instead, I wanted to work alongside them and kind of help them grow as well as them help me grow. And so that is why Live and Leap does not do research funding. I'm also a fast return type of person, so I wanted a fast turnover, and as far as research, it takes years to get one medicine approved for childhood cancer. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to do Live and Leap, and we're going to go fast, and we're going to grow, and we're going to reach people that have never been reached before. So that's kind of my reason why I didn't do a research foundation. Let me share one more. By the way, my facts are coming from alexislemonade.org. She has lemonade stands and raises money for childhood cancer research. Let's see. This one, again, is another crazy one, and that is 700 kids, new kids, are affected each day with cancer. So that kind of gives you a perspective. 700, that's probably bigger than the high school that y'all go to. Maybe if not, then it's right at it. It's bigger than the high school I went to. So that just blows my mind that every one of my kids in my high school that I grew up with could have been a childhood cancer patient. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to share some facts with y'all, as well as my foundation and my journey. If y'all have more questions for the foundation, about the foundation, you can go to livenleap.org and learn some more about Live and Leap. And if you want to learn about my journey, I had a blog, and that is jilliansleapthroughcancer.com. That kind of just tells you my story and a little bit about me. I also wanted to thank y'all for everything that y'all have done for Live and Leap. I know y'all are raising money for us this week, and we're so thankful as the foundation. Every little bit helps, and like I said, don't be scared to talk about it. Don't be scared to reach out to someone. If one of your friends or even just a random classmate is diagnosed, lend a hand. A lot of times they'll tell you they don't need anything, but anything helps at this point. So thank you all very much, and much love to all. Bye guys.